I saw a couple of walls back there that looked like they'd been refinished.
So what do you think's causing it?
You know, first I'd get a sample of concrete and have it tested.
What if it's not the concrete?
Well, we'd drill a hole through the wall and look for either poor quality steel or not enough of it.
What if the steel's okay?
What do you want from me?
What if the steel is okay?
Well, then have someone check to see if the geologist goofed. And if that's not the case, look for a geothermal leak under the foundation. And with this heat, that's a real possibility.
Will you put all that in writing?
No.
Loyalty to your fellow engineers, huh, Kibby?
Look, I've been the victim of unsupported accusations. So far, you've only enough to warrant a little more investigation.
A little more investigation.
What the hell is that?
That's something that warrants a lot more investigation. Where are you going?
I can't. You're on your own. Wait for me!
Nurse Eisen to the pathology lab. Nurse Eisen to the pathology lab.
You? What are you doing here?
Hi there, Miss Nurse Eisen.
You had me paged.
That's right. There's something very strange going on in this hospital, and I thought you might care enough to help me.
Everything is under control.
Everything's under control. All right, let's recap it. How about the elevator and the heat and the plaster being knocked off the walls? And I hear that people are dying.
Well, of course people are dying. This is a hospital.
Okay. I think you ought to get an engineer down here so that more people don't start dying.
I'm afraid it's going to take more than an engineer.
Oh?
I don't know. There's just no explanation for what's been going on around
Well, then
here.
what has been going on around here?
Like this afternoon, a patient in a heart-lung machine was horribly killed. And this is an earlier case. Would you like to see for yourself?
Yeah.
This morning, this was a healthy young man, a staff electrician. He was found after the power failure in the hall. First, we thought he was electrocuted, and then we started an autopsy.
Oh, so what happened? What was the result? So what?
Mr. Kolchak, all of these people had some connection with electrically operated equipment.
For the last time, Dr. Carey will not see any reporters today, and he has no comment on anything. Dr. Hartfield, go right in.
Thank you. Doctor?
As far as I can tell, there is no precedence for this in the annals of medicine. This tar-like substance is all that was left of the blood in the patient's body.
What is the content of that substance, Doctor?
See for yourself.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, of course.
That's incredible.
Dr. Hartfield.
Amazing. Virtually no plasma at all. I've never seen such a concentration of blood cells.
At first, it seemed to be a massive clotting, an acute case of polycythemia. But obviously, it was much, much more than that.
Yes.
You're Dr.
Kolchak.
Oh, yes.
Dr.
Now, gentlemen, please.
How do you do?
Ah, Detective Webster. Detective, these are among the leading pathologists of the city. Now, gentlemen, if you'll follow me, we will proceed with the autopsy. Oh, Dr. Hartfield, would you mind preparing the toxicological report?
Oh, gladly.
Dr. Kolchak, what do you prefer?
Oh, I'm not fussy. I'll take the feet.
Dr. Kolchak?
You're making a big mistake, Captain.
I know. I ought to book you.
Yo, for what? Impersonating a doctor? You'd have to take Carrie and the rest of those little sop ones along with you. Wait a minute. Will you just wait? Listen, those pathologists upstairs are trying to find out why this system blew out and what killed their patients.
The equipment is being tested.
Yeah, and that's what you're here for?
I'm here checking out all irregularities, including the possibility of sabotage.
Did you see those cracks in the basement? Did you see them?
Yeah, sure, they're settling cracks.
In your head. Listen, what would you say if I told you there's a force beyond your comprehension is trying to destroy this hospital?
I'd say goodbye, Kolchak. And don't try to come back in. I won't be so nice next time.
Fact, there had been no documented irregularities in the way the new hospital had been built. But, item, the generally reliable Indian high steel workers had left the job last October after several mysterious accidents. I found the same Indian crew now hard at work on the Starrett building on Michigan Avenue. The foreman told me as much as he could, but the high steel workers talked only through their shaman, or medicine man, Jim Elkhorn. Since Elkhorn was a high steel worker, I assumed I'd find him on the high steel. It was only after I went all the way up there that I found that he was back on Earth eating lunch and taking care of business.
Now, look, I didn't mean to be super critical the other night. It's just that, well, it's just that your legs really excite me. And when you wear that pantsuit and that vest, it's, I'm just trying to do you a service. You left your hairbrush and your platform shoes at my place, and I figured maybe you wanted them, Valerie. It's the oldest salesman's trick in the world. You deliberately forget your hat, and then you have an excuse to come back. You know what I mean? Valerie, I'm gonna have to hang up because I'm just not used to that sort of language.
Yeah, Carl Kolchak, INS. You Jim Elkhorn? Listen, I'd like to know why you pulled your men off that job at the Lakefront Hospital last fall. Was it because of unsafe working conditions you pulled them off?
It's tribal business. I don't discuss that with reporters or outsiders.
Your phone's ringing.
Thank you. Hello. Hi, Melinda.
Listen, before I say goodbye, could I step into your trailer and forget my hat?
No, I'm not tied up, darling. Hang on a second, would you?
What happened to that hospital? How did those high steel workers die?
Machimanito.
What?
Machimanito, he killed my men.
Machi.
Yeah.
Machi.
Claudia Granoff, age 22. The little bit of movement she retained in her right hand wasn't even enough to let her wipe her own forehead in the sudden heat that was beginning to get to her. Claudia couldn't sleep. She was too concerned over what was going to become of her life. The truth was, nothing was ever going to become of Claudia's life. Here you are. Thank you.
Check those lines for any kind of break.
Doesn't it make you nervous with all this going on down here in a hospital full of people over your head? Huh? I mean, if anything goes wrong, you're going to take the rap, you know.
I beg your pardon?
Well, unless, on the other hand, of course, this hospital is built over a geothermal fault.
Geothermal fault?
Yeah, or bad concrete,
that's ridiculous.
Or structural miscalculations, or whatever it is. I suggest you stop scraping and patching these walls and start evacuating the hospital.
I think I'll start the evacuation with you. Officer.
You can never find a proper need.
Officer.
Big problems, right?
All the lab personnel are here. We were called back. It seems there's been another strange death, this time in the orthopedic ward.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, pretty much the same as the other one. All the vital organs of the patient just seized up. And an electric orthopedic bed just went crazy and blew up.
Any leads at all?
None, and I'm scared.
Yeah, well, so are they. But they're not honest enough to admit it. Now, are you scared enough to go along with me on an idea? Jim!
So now you're gonna bug me at home, huh? Look, I'm right in the middle of trying to fix something.
Jim Elkhorn, Janice Eisen.
Hello.
Janice is a technician over at Lakefront Hospital, and I just thought that you might be able to help us.
Oh, sure. Please come in. Janice Eisen, this is Diane Lanier from next door. Diane, this is Charles
Kolchak.
Hello. Hello. I feel like we're interrupting.
Oh, no. Diane has got a raisin bread problem, and I don't know why, but for some reason it gets stuck in
No,
there.
it's my English muffins that get stuck.
Right. Look, could I fix you people a drink?
Oh, maybe later.
You were just about to get me a vodka on the rocks.
I'm sorry, Dave. Excuse me?
Jim.
Are you sure, Charles?
About Matsumoto. Now, is that any relationship to Quasimodo?
You have a master's degree in business administration, and you still do construction work?
Jim, Matsumoto.
Machi Manito. He was called the bear god, Charles, and I don't really know why, since he was invisible. Excuse me, please. It's a question of economics, Janice. You see, High Steel pays $40,000 a year, and that thing over there was worth $16.5, and part of that was written off against public relations. An Indian head is a high visibility asset.
Bear God? Well, then you were putting me on. You knew there was sabotage going on in that hospital.
Jim, my rocks are melting.
I'm sorry, Don. Look, sabotage, I don't know anything about. Here, sit down, Janice. But I can tell you about Machi Manito.
Yeah, well, I wish somebody would say something about it. Now.
Carl said that you're a medicine man.
Yeah, I'm a shaman. It's a hereditary title, but I don't practice it much anymore since we got Blue Cross on our last contract.
Janice.
Oh, yes. Well, what about this bear god,
Manito?
That's right, Miss Lanier.
Oh, well, Machi Manito always lived in the general area of where the hospital foundation is now. And he was there before the Illinois tribe. He was there before the Iroquois.
Iroquois?
He was even there before Chicago became Chicago.
Chicago?
And he was referred to by some early French explorers, too. Hey, do you believe any of this?
Sounds good as most of the stuff I've been getting.
Well, anyway, to pacify Machi Manito, my people used to drive buffalo over his place, and he would eat them, I guess, which is a pretty neat trick if you don't have a stomach.
Well, that turns mine.
Diane, I think your muffin's stuck in your spring again.
Stuff the muffin. I'll eat instant oatmeal.
I really feel terrible about this.